Because we are filming services in advance, Reverend Breer wasn't able to address the recent death of George Floyd in this week's service. However, it has been on all of our minds, and Jeff will respond in a future service. Ahmaud Arbery was shot by white vigilantes. It took a national outcry and 3 months for charges to be filed and arrests made, though the men involved in the incident freely admitted what they had done and the incident was captured on video. Breonna Taylor was shot at least 8 times by police after they broke into her Kentucky apartment while she was sleeping. Nearly 2 months later, the FBI opened an investigation. George Floyd died in police custody in Minneapolis. A Black man who pled that he couldn't breathe as a white officer knelt on his neck. The officers involved were fired. Former MPD officer Derek Chauvin was charged 4 days later with murder and manslaughter. Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Church is committed to taking action to change white supremacy culture and ensure equity and justice for all people, both those who tragically make the news and the people of color who are subjected to microaggressions every day. Please keep your eye on our Facebook page for concrete actions we all can take to change culture and pursue justice.
Welcome to the Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Virtual Church. My name is Tom Burns, and I'm glad we can get together even though we cannot be together. Today, our minister, the Reverend Jeff Breer, offers some thoughts about what to expect in the future. To accompany the lighting of our chalice, I have some advice from Stephen Schick. Do nothing.
Practice doing nothing each day. Not the whole day, but that part of it when your soul feels pinched and shoved and crammed into the end of your pen, pressed against a deadline or the cushion of your computer chair, or hanging on the request from someone who wants one more thing from you and you can't say no. Practice doing nothing each day. Make it a religious thing that binds you to a truth that can only be experienced, like when you breathe out and it empties you of all that presses against your chest from the inside until it spills out of you in angry words or impatient deeds.
Charis and the Virtual Children's Choir have put together some music for us today. This song was written by Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson and is the 8th best-selling single in history. We Are the World.
There comes a time when you heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. It's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day. That's the one. Somewhere we soon make a change. We are a part of a big family. Your love is all we need. We are the one. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's stop giving. There's a choice we're making. We'll save our lives. It's true melody. That's you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make brighter days. Let's start again. That's what we're making. We're saving our lives. It's to make a better day. It's you and me.
We'll sing Loving Kindness next. Please light a candle to dispel the darkness or to bring light to a memory.
May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be
My name is Jeff Breer, and I am the minister of this virtual church. I hope you're doing well. Today I bring you the thinking of Jake Morrill. Jake is the minister at the Oak Ridge Unitarian Universalist Church. He says these are VUCA times, V-U-C-A. He says we live in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. But you already knew that. So even as we steady ourselves during these days, how do we orient ourselves as a congregation? Jake says we can do that by asking ourselves three questions. What? So what? And now what? Asking ourselves what will reveal our assumptions about the future. Asking so what will reveal what our assumptions imply about our congregation. And the answer to now what will be what the assumptions and the implications prod us to do. So starting with the first question, what? Here are four things that we can expect in the future. I believe we can expect a stop and start society until the fall of 2021. And this effect will be more pronounced in larger urban areas. By this I mean that when COVID-19 cases fall, society will start. And when they rise again, society will stop. And this cycle will repeat until the virus burns out or we develop a vaccine. Second, I believe that we can expect a long-lasting economic recession. Third, I believe that climate change and technology will continue to disrupt our lives. And fourth, I believe that our society will hybridize. That is, large gatherings of people, like concerts, football games, and parades, will be diminished, and we will have more online experiences, and small groups will proliferate. So if those four assumptions are mostly true, here is what it could mean for our congregation. This is the so what? Well, I think online ministry will become more important, which is 24/7, not just on Sunday morning. I think small groups may become even more important than they are now. I think that in a VUCA time, clearly marked pathways become more important, like a clearly marked pathway to membership, a wisdom path to spiritual maturity, or an empowerment path to leadership, or an impact path to fulfilling our mission. So just to review these implications, more online ministry, more participation in small groups, Clearly marked pathways are more important. And one last implication. People are lonely and scared. They are hungry for what we as a church can offer. The transforming love that includes everyone, even me, even you. The implication then is that church will become more important in a VUCA time. I'm going to wrap it all up now. So if society starts and stops, if the economy recedes, if climate change and technology continue to disrupt our lives, and if society hybridizes, and online ministry, small groups, pathways, and church life all become more important, then what will we do? The world has changed. We are changed, but changed people can change people. We are part of the love that never quits and leaves no one out. It won't be easy. It won't take time. It will take time. We will undoubtedly screw it up somehow, and we will have to trust each other. I'll leave you with something that helps me cope with this VUCA world. Remember VUCA? Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. About 10 years ago, I had an interesting conversation with a friend, and just last month I spoke with her again. This friend is a scientist who uses supercomputing technology to apply mathematical models to ecological scenarios. She's pretty smart and very accomplished. 10 years ago, she described the probable effects of climate change, and it gave me chills. Losses of coastal cities, mass migration, havoc throughout the whole planet. While I had a layman's grasp on climate change, I never before so vividly imagined its effects on our world. In the years after that, even as I learned more about climate change, the vision of collapse that had taken hold on that conversation was my predominant mental model. In any case, about a month ago, I had an occasion to speak with her again, and I don't remember all that we talked about, but at some point I asked her about recent modeling of climate change. I braced myself for an even worse depiction of the wreckage to come, but what I heard was quite different. Yes, she said, there was no doubt that climate change was coming, accelerating, and would bring vast disruption throughout society. But the scenario modeling had evolved beyond that. In recent years, she and her colleagues had been modeling scenarios of life emerging from the destruction, exploring models of adaptation and renewal. One example was that alongside all the wreckage, there might be new agricultural opportunities in different regions. For instance, in the future, one possibility is that we might grow pineapples in East Tennessee. A light bulb went on when she said that. What I realized is that for the last 10 years, I only ever followed the arc of climate change to the port of destruction. My imagination stopped right there. And then hearing this scientist describe a future longer than that, which included adaptation and renewal and pineapples, I felt some of my anxiety draining away. It was recasting the damage in the context of a longer narrative. I am not an epidemiologist, so I won't make any crystal ball predictions about what comes out of this pandemic, but I can imagine something beyond the chaos that we now endure, and I will begin to look for it, pray for it, and work for it.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for those gathered here and those far away, for the time we share
To continue the poem by Stephen Schick, practice doing nothing all day. Fill your day with moments of nothingness, little ones at first, then stretch them. Pull them until the muscles of all your undoing ache, like that time you felt them collapse after a long run, a hard swim, or a heavy lift, as you heaved the last time before you said enough. Practice doing nothing each day, until all your doings yield to a new habit that demands you do nothing and do it consciously, with your eyes wide open, mindfully, without attachment, skillfully, with balanced acts of waiting, before you return to the world of all your doing. Please help me extinguish the chalice now. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. My name is Yana May, and I'm happy we could get together today. Thanks for joining us, and please come back whenever you like. We'll post another virtual church service next Sunday. I hope to chat with you during our virtual coffee hour beginning at 11:30. You can find the link on our website, hvuuc.org, under the News and Events tab. Please contact the minister or the caring team if you or someone you know needs help during this time. To close out this virtual service, Karis brings us a song by Raffi. She says that although we long to be together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. As you make your way through this week, remember these words. You are good, you are loved, we all need a little work, and we're all in this together. Nothing left to say but yay, church!
The more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Oh, the more we sing together, the more we sing together, the happier we'll be. There's Audrey and Lorelai and June and you. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. La da 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 da. The more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and their friends are our friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll